take a look at these types of issues. Because we're all trying to do it at light speed. And so, you've heard Dick Burke. Dick Burke had got a Career Achievement Award for architecture. What was his big thing? Architect, invest, and implement. So typically what we do is we say, okay, we need to do something. Let's get that dollar amount in the budget, and then we'll figure out what we're going to do with it. And so so this is kind of a commentary on what the dashboard should do to kind of bring it back around to the dashboard a little bit, because I tend to think about these things and talk about these things as a process continuum. And that process continuum is exactly what I think, and I think you think, the dashboard should reflect. So if you had programs and a perspective on the programs, and those programs aligned with your architectural plans, now you're actually planning the work, investing the money, and now you've got something that you can refer to, and you can move on. You can move on. And then if you have to diverge over in one area, then you got a plan you can go back to. And how many people have done a project or implemented a program and they've never had any change in what they did from the very beginning to the end? Anybody? You are living a blessed life. I am telling you right now, that is beautiful if you can do that. I have never, and this month I will have 28 years with HHS. And I will tell you, I have never implemented a program or run a project, IT or otherwise, that didn't have some change in the middle of it that I had to react to. And the way you do that is through your plans. So then if you go on and you then have on the second one from the right, you get into your capital planning process, your IT capital planning process. So now you've got IT investments that support your programs, that match your plan, that support your strategic direction. And so now you've got prioritized investments at both the program and the IT level that support the direction that you're moving. It sounds so simple, doesn't it? But this is exactly where the current dashboard is. So we've got 5 sections up there of process, and we're only really reflecting one of them. This, if you think about this, this is the continuum of activities that you engage in across your agencies, or in your, and honestly, in any kind of a business, you have to have direction, you have to plan your work, you have to make investments, and then on the right-hand side, the far right-hand side, you have to execute. You have to execute those plans. And that's where your project management comes in. And this is a thank you. This is a key point. If you don't take anything away from what I'm saying today, take this. Everybody got their pens out? Not really necessary. You manage at the project level. You report at the investment level. And so we are reporting information to the dashboard, but it's not yet at the detail that we can use to manage. How many people have investments that are just one project? You have one project manager, you have one piece of the project, and I'm talking about IT stuff here. I think it's kind of unusual if that's the case. Because most of the investments that I see reported are conglomerates of multiple projects, and you've got multiple project managers. And yes, you might have an investment manager, but typically you have, as the federal government is wont to do, you have a steering committee, or you have a task force that says, okay, we're going to make sure that this gets done right. And so that brings me to a commentary about governance. Why do we have a governance process? And then the very first thing we do when we've got a new set of requirements is we stand up another governance process. We stand up a steering committee. That's a governance body, right? We stand up a task force. That's a governance body. And so we actively go around our own governance processes that we put in place to provide the oversight for these things. And so those are the types of things. And then in the middle of all this, you see those red arrows and the circles there. You collect data, you do process assessments, and you do analysis, and then that data flows to wherever it's going to flow. And in this case, we've got it flowing back down to the agencies, and we've got it flowing up to the public. Well, in our current situation, that's exactly what happens. You know, we provide some information to the public. We've always done that. We really didn't need, even though I have to admit, I was not a big supporter of data.gov. I just wasn't. You know, my attitude was, you know, we need to focus on enhancing our metadata that allows commercial engines to gain access to the data that we already publish. And we don't need to be in the business of supplanting or supporting the commercial search engines. Just one man's opinion, but I was wrong. It provides a big advantage. The citizens know where to go. People know where to look first for data. They don't have to use the search engines. And it has resulted in a lot of different things, but that's another topic. So anyway, and then there's a couple of other things here that I want to mention, and that is that, you know, in the federal government we have security requirements, FISMA, you know, that other people don't have maybe, and we have all of our process requirements. And if you look on the top right there, it's hard to read, but those red arrows are legislation, directives, other requirements. This is my attempt at saying that what we should be doing is we should be taking all of these things, these new requirements, funneling them into our processes, reflecting that in our dashboard perspective that we have out there, and then letting the process and our governance work the way it's supposed to work. Let's not reinvent the wheel here. So, if we clean this up a little bit, and we do this in response to the Open Government Directive. So now what we've got is at the bottom we've got all the agencies, and we've still got the same processes because the processes are sound. Everybody needs to do these, or should be doing these, to advance their work. So you've got strategic direction, you've got architectural plans, you've got program investments that support those plans, you've got IT investments that support those programs, and then you execute like mad. And if you look on the left-hand side there, you can see that you've got the same legislation, the same directives, the same requirements, whatever.